Hello, my name is Amanda Hendricks, and I am the Lead Procurement Account Executive in the Department of General Services Office of State Procurement. I'm going to be walking you through the eMaryland Marketplace Advantage, known as EMMA, Quick Reference Guide, or QRG, for creating a sourcing project in EMMA. All of the QRGs for the EMMA system can be found at procurement.maryland.gov/EMMA-QRGs. This QRG has been created for procurement officers and buyers who want to use EMMA to create a sourcing project. This QRG shows you how to create a sourcing project from scratch. If you are creating one from a business request, you should see the business request QRG, steps 21 to 23, or watch the end of the video that was created for that QRG. Step 1 of the QRG on how to create a sourcing project in EMMA instructs you to log into EMMA and type in your username and password. You most likely will have single sign-on capabilities in the live EMMA production. However, we are using the training environment for this video, so single sign-on is not an option. Reminder that for best results, you should access EMMA via Google Chrome. So I'm going to type my information in. And log in. So step 2 of the QRG shows you how to locate the Create a Sourcing Project option from the drop-down menu. Once you're logged in, from the home screen, go to the top of the screen and scroll over Sourcing, select it, and click Create Project. Step 3 of the QRG involves populating the general information section for your sourcing project. Once you've selected Create a Project, a screen with a form to be filled out will open. Any area with a red asterisk indicates a required field. If any of the asterisk fields are not filled in, the system will alert you to what you need to do in order to move forward. I'm going to briefly talk about each field, including the non-asterisk ones. So, as I fill them in. So this field here is the alternate ID. This is an additional identifier. If you have a financial management information system, known as FEMIS number, or an internal contract number, you would enter it here. It would be considered a best practice to enter this number if you have one. So for this, I'm just going to create one, but you would put a real one there. There is a template box. You would click this checkbox if you plan to make this sourcing project a template for future projects, but I will not be selecting this box for this example. The next field is the project type. This is an asterisk field. Click this field to open the drop-down menu and select the type of project you plan on procuring. You will see a list of different project types here. If you select the See All option, it opens a new window that provides definitions for most of the procurement types. So you can pick which one fits your criteria the best. So for this example, I will be selecting the IFB invitation for bids right here. I can do this by selecting the checkbox next to the type, and it automatically closed that pop-up window once I did that. The next field is the project start date. This is an asterisk field as well. You click this field to select a date on which to start the project. This is not the advertised date for your solicitation. It is the date that this sourcing project is being created, and it's typically pre-populated, as you can see mine is, with today's date. I would just leave it that way. The confidential project box is not something in the live production, so we're going to move past that at this time. The linked business request, you would click this field to search for a business request that you need to link your new sourcing project. If you click See All, it opens a window in which all the business requests are listed. So you could search for a term in the keywords field. I'll show you. Oh, sorry. You can see you have many ways to search for your business request here. You can search by keyword, user, status, organization, commodity, main agency, sub-agency site, or types. And once you select them, it'll automatically populate it into this field. For this example, I am going to leave this blank. So now you're on project title. This is an asterisk field. You would enter a title for your project. Mine is going to be grooming for K9 kids. Project end date, this one right here. If your project has a definite end date, you could populate this field. However, typically this would be left blank. It is not the bid proposal due date, which information gets put into your prepare solicitation tab. The main category is an asterisk field. You would enter the name of your main category that matches your UNSPSC, which is United Nations Standard Products and Services Code, in this field and select it from the drop-down menu that opens. This would be the commodity code that best matches your what type of business or organization you're trying to get to bid on your project. You can only add one category in this field. So for this one, I am using this top code here for live plant and animal material and accessories and supplies. Other categories, the commodities selected here must match the codes in the UNSPSC as closely as possible, and you should select any and every code that applies to your project. Click this field to open the drop-down menu, and you can search that way, or you can select See All. A new window is going to open, and it's going to list all of the commodities that are available in the EMA system. You would use the plus and minus icons to the left of the category groups to expand and collapse them, and select the checkboxes to the left of the commodity or commodities that you want to add and close the field. The selected commodity or commodities will auto-populate in the other category field, and you can select as many as you want. It's crucial to make sure you try to add any and every commodity that applies to your project in this field. It ensures your project receives attention from a broad range of appropriate and qualified vendors. So for this example, my contract's pretty specific, but I can add another code. So I'm going to select the checkbox. So I'm going to select the plus sign next to my main commodity that I've already utilized. And then I'm doing grooming products for pets. So I'm going to go to domestic pet products. I'm going to click the check next to that and also the plus next to that, and select the check here for domestic pet treatments, accessories, and equipment, and the plus here, and also check on the pet grooming products. It's important to select as many as possible. Clicking on just the top one does not automatically select all of the ones underneath. So once I've done that, I'm going to click the X, and you'll notice that they pre-populated under my other commodities here. Okay, so initial fund certification availability. You can notice that it's automatically grayed out. The system automatically generates this field. You do not need to do anything here, which you can determine because it's grayed out. The issuing agency, sub-agency site, this is an asterisk field. Enter the main agency site or sub-agency that's responsible for this sourcing project. You can also search for the agency by clicking See All at the bottom of the dropdown. I'm going to select Maryland Department of General Services since that's the department that I work for. The other agencies, if necessary, you can add one or more other agencies related to this project here. I'm not going to add any other agencies for the purpose of this project. The MITDP award checkbox would be if you have a major IT developmental project award. And this will help with approval paths later on the EMA process as well as reporting. And for procurement officer, this is an asterisk field. It should automatically populate with your information as the procurement officer or buyer for this project. But if it's incorrect or needs to be changed, you can click on it, open the drop-down menu, and select an option from the list. And you can click See All to see the full list of procurement officers as well. Okay, so step 4 of the QRG involves populating the additional information section for your sourcing project. Again, any area with a red asterisk indicates a required field. If any of the asterisk fields are not filled in, the system will alert you to what you need to do in order to move forward. I'm going to talk briefly about each field, including the non-asterisk ones. It is important to note that in this section, additional fields may pop up depending on how you answer the current fields. So the first field is federal funding, which is asterisk. Does your project have federal funds? Yes or no? So I'm going to say no in the sample. SBR designation, is your project designated Small Business Reserve? Yes or no? The project estimate would be if you have a project cost for your project, an estimated cost, and the project cost class here. Typically, these are used for construction projects. You'll notice they are not asterisked. For the MBE goal, this is an asterisk field if yours has a minority-owned business enterprise goal. My example isn't going to have one, but I want to show you what the fields would look like if it did. So I'm going to, so if I say no, that's all that happens. But if I say yes, you'll notice that a couple of new boxes pop up. They want to know the percentage of the MBE goal and if it has sub-goals. So if you have sub-goals and you say yes, then 4 more boxes pop up. 5 more boxes pop up for Native American, African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, and women-owned MBE participation. And you would enter those percentages in those boxes. So in this scenario, we do not, so I'm leaving it as no. For VSBE goal, this is also asterisked, and it's if you have a veteran-owned small business enterprise goal on your project. So you would select yes or no. Ours is not going to have one, but again, if I did select yes, there's a spot that asks me for what that participation amount is. The final item in this section is grant funding. So if your project did have grant funding, you would say yes, and then it asks you to insert the amount given towards the grant funding. And you'll notice that is asterisked as well. So if you say yes to this, you need to fill that part out as well. I'm going to say no and move on. Step 5 of the QRG involves populating the apparent awardee approval criteria section for your sourcing project, which is the last section. Depending on your selected project type, you may not see all of the same options that I'm going to show you today. Public notice and small procurement category 1 don't even have an apparent awardee approval criteria section at all. Since I made this example procurement an invitation for bids, all 4 options are available. It's important to note that you should make your selections in this section as correctly as possible. You cannot change them once your sourcing project has been advertised. However, many fields are visible. So these are the fields that are visible for you if you use an invitation for bids project type. The fiscal officer approval. Does your project need approval by a fiscal officer? So you would say yes or no, and this will indicate the approval path that your apparent awardee, so once your solicitation has concluded its advertisement process and you are ready to award, this is the path that it will take. So does it need fiscal officer approval? Does it need legal approval? Does it need your agency head's approval? And does it need procurement leadership approval? So you can select yes or no for each of these, and I'm going to leave them the way they are currently. So step 6 of the QRG has you clicking save and close at the top of the page. And you have now completed creating your sourcing project in Emma. Your next steps range from creating a team or schedule to preparing your solicitation, and all of these QRGs will be available to you with videos. If you run into any problems, you can rewatch this video, read through the QRGs, or reach out to the emma.helpdesk@maryland.gov for assistance. Thank you and have a great day.